talking with Gravity there, and good job on the analyst desk so far, man. But now we go over to Hollywood here, and we have a pretty decent match on our hands. This could help determine, obviously, where we're going to be looking at for the playoff situation. But looking at the map pool, I think this is kind of good for Angry Titans because, yes, they have Hollywood here, but going on to the next map, Angry Titans have the opportunity to take ENCE Esports to Horizon. And Horizon is a map that we've seen Angry Titans look pretty strong on. Yeah, they lost to those guys, but you know, that's we're talking about the best team coming out of Group A right now. You cannot dispute that at the moment, and they look really good there. I think, especially against Eagle Gaming, and that's a team that ENCE Esports just lost to. So I think Angry Titans looks pretty good here, but they're going to start things off. We're already 10 seconds into the match here, Brunch, and Lally on that Tracer once again.
And usually we would see Olba potentially go for the Pharah for this first point, but so far he's going to go ahead and just stay on the Soldier, try to put some pressure onto that backline. Was sitting on the high ground, but Elivod was there, lying in wait on the Diva, and now Olba going down to Onigod is going to be really bad here for ENCE Esports, as overall just not really able to find any kills or any work to be done here.
They take out Onigod. They already demeched Elivod, like you were saying, and he's going to have to go all the way back to spawn to get his mech back. That's going to be a big opening now for the attacking side here. ENCE Esports wants to take advantage of this situation that they've created for themselves, where Elivod still is in spawn right now, still making a swap over to his Diva once again to get back into the mech. So now we're seeing ENCE Esports slowly progress forward, slowly start taking advantage of the fact that there's no Diva here in play.
But even with that, no real advantage just yet, as we will see Lozish go back. Regroup with a team, very nicely done in terms of positioning, but they will have actually go ahead and see Erky pop that attack visor, take out Olba, who will be resurrected, but Lude will be lying in wait with that Valkyrie. If need be, Self-Destruct is going to come through. Lozish is going to be taken down, and now coming in with the Valkyrie, it's still looking pretty good for ENCE Esports here, Rix.
And Cali also on the point right now, trying to defense matrix himself out of there. They've not gotten a tick just yet, but they are getting a good amount of kills here. They have the Transcendence available as well on both sides. As Afox pops his, Elfie will do just the same. They're just battering everybody around right now with the Primal Rage. Ruape and Lolzish both popped them, and now it's Olba's turn for the Tac Visor. He pulls it out. Lally got a kill onto Ludi there. They're going to be cleaning up here. ENCE Esports look to check at least the first tick here, but probably the whole point along with it.
Especially since those final few kills are finally going to trickle in. Even Erky getting one in return shouldn't be able to do much here, as the payload will be rolling, and considering past results, I would actually want to see Olba on that Widowmaker, and there it is.
So he does make that swap. They are going to be able to kind of contest high ground with this dive comp that they've come out with as well, and you can see the Soldier is in the sight line of Olba, and he finds the headshot. Erky falls. That's 6v5 advantage now to ENCE Esports as they're going forward trying to take down Ludi, who's up top now on that high ground. That's going to be a big jump there from Ruape, who's going up there. Elfie trying to deal with this Tracer. They have a 3 versus 1 in the back. That will take down Onigod. So much space now for the attacking side. Ruape up there with Cali, and Olba obviously providing some support for that as well. Really doing a fantastic job of just creating that space for that payload to keep pushing.
And this is where this lineup of ENCE Esports seemingly do well on, but now Elivod managing to take down Ruape. It's going to make things a little bit more difficult. They're still contesting onto the payload. Onigod manages to take out Elfie, and now with Snapping going down as well. This should finally be a good defense hold here for Angry Titans as they are able to recover.
Mayfox coming away with an ult of his own. That's big Transcendence, but really, I mean, Olba right now trying to make these big plays. Landed a nice shot onto Afox, making a double, and that's gonna signal the kill as he's now looking for Erky next. I don't think we're gonna see a res come out, but there it does actually, as Ludi was able to make his way behind cover to be able to secure that one. Erky falling back, Primal Rage comes out. That's gonna force out the ultimate from Mercy as the Valk keeps him in the air, also providing a lot of overall healing as Erky pulls out the Tac Visor, and he's gonna go forward. He only found Ruape there, but he's gonna demech the Diva as well as Ruape comes back from the dead off the resurrect, looking to try to create some more space now for Olba. He's trying to find those headshots, he's trying to find those kills. He was good about it before, but now has to fall back from that self-destruct.
when Ruip is going to be the one to go down, and a little late into that team fight with Elfie's Transcendence, I feel, as it's a little bit of a lost time here, but still, overall, looking at it, we'll see them push away this lineup of Angry Titans. Onigod is going to be the only one to contest now, finally supported by Lozish, and overall, still a little bit of distance being built up. We will see Lozish pop that Primal Rage, try to push them around, but Olba is going to be able to take down Luda, and that's a big pick.
Rip now on the point, getting contested here. Lozish going to fall. Erky really has no one left to protect him, so he'll fall as well. To the pulse bomb, that is, as AFOX goes down with it as he's stuck. And now ENCE Esports surging forward. They have about a minute 20 here, and another opportunity actually for Angry Titans to make a stop right now. And Frenchu, Erky has been on the Soldier throughout, makes a swap over to the Genji here, but I really think he's looked his strongest on those projectile heroes, so I really like this change for them, going for that full counter dive style where they're going to get very aggressive jumping onto the payload here.
And now we'll see Rip either ready with that Primal Rage. Erky, as he said, already making an impact on the Genji, makes it work too snappy, but oh, Cali with the self-destruct. It's going to pick up both Erky as well as Luda. And even though Onigod gets one onto Elfie, it's still looking really good for this ENCE Esports lineup, who Oba will be taken down, but Onigod, the last pest in this lineup of ENCE Esports, but he somehow still makes it work. No, finally though, able to stay alive long enough for the rest of the team to respawn and regroup, and Onigod might have just held it by his own until the rest members came back in.
And as heroic as that display was, it was actually almost even better. Onigod had reduced Olba, who was up on top of jail, to about 1 HP before Olba finally was able to get out of scope and then get back and protect himself. So he was at 1 HP. He came back over. Pulse Bomb came out from Onigod, and Cali made the play there to just gobble it up with the defense matrix. So that could have been even more devastating of a show from Onigod, but they don't even make it over to the point. Onigod almost getting a kill onto Lally as well. They're going to make the stop here before the second objective is captured.
And Rue trying desperately to get in with that Primal Rage will not be successful, and as a result, we'll be swapping over sides. But I gotta say, ENCE Esports still putting out a pretty good fight. I would expect them to have done pretty well overall in the street phase, but they have impressed somewhat on that offense too.
Now we're seeing things swap up, and for some reason on... Okay, there we go. For some reason, my game just glitched out for a second. But either way, looks like we're going ahead and swapping. Teams are picking up their heroes right now. And defensively here, curious to see what we're going to see. I mean, Olba right now is on that Soldier. Could very well see that as a major possibility. We saw it from Erky already, but Dive very likely to come out, I would say, here for the attacking side of Angry Titans, and Erky on the Genji just furthers that notion.
You talked about your dislike of seeing Reinhardt being played most of the time in the current meta, in the current state of things, and Rick will be playing it out here. It is, at the very least, compared to an Orisa, going to give him the possibility to move around the shield. So, overall, what's your take on that?
Well, it's not really a dislike. I mean, I do like Reinhardt. I just think Orisa's better, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. But, you know, we have seen a lot of Reinhardt so far. It's been interesting to see that we've seen so much Reinhardt. But, you know, given the supports that are strong right now, given the style of play that's meta right now, given how strong Junkrat is and how you can pair McCree with it, or even Soldier, I just think Orisa is sometimes better. But they're still going to be sticking with this, and we've seen some excellent performances already with Reinhardt, so I wouldn't count it out.
Now that we will see a dive composition round up here for the side of Angry Titans, they're going to look to dive in, as Lils is going to jump straight in. Doesn't find any target just now, but at the very least, we'll push the opposition away. We'll have a look here at Erky, who drops really low, gets found by that Helix, but fortunately for him, doesn't go down just yet.
And they're just buying their time, looking for an opportunity here. Elivo just swallowing up all those fire strikes coming out from the Reinhardt. And Bruape has been denied a lot of ult charge because of that. Now AFOX kind of making his way back around as Wolzish falls. And they're going to res him back up, try to keep this push going. Elevote gonna lose his mech, but they might be able to take some kills here, and they do. Erky with two quick swift strikes there. We'll find that, as well as the last kill there onto Ruape. They're gonna take this point here. They're gonna have a lot of time to work with as well, Brunch. Push on through to the second objective. They do, again, have that dive set up so they can contest the high ground here. Very big point indeed.
And on top of that, with so many ultimates still available, even Odegaard picking a kill there onto Snappy, late kill at that. It's going to make things a little bit more difficult for the defensive lineup of ENCE Esports to set up onto the high ground, as Olb already seeing some contestant on that point, and things are looking really good for Angry Titans now with so many ultimates to work with. Looking against this defense, at the very least, Snappy should be able to somewhat equalize things or make sure that his team recovers.
Now they're going to jump up top, try to contest the high ground, and somehow we saw Erky just walking on Snap for a second there. Got one hit off, but he's going to die off. Snap going to be dead, so that means no res here for ENCE Esports, as Odegaard is in the back line cleaning up the scraps left behind from ENCE Esports, and we do see Ruape coming back over to the payload to control. Angry Titans coming back from respawn though, and they could really take advantage of this situation. DMAC Cali here, that will be big, as the pulse bomb from Onigod again eaten up from Cali. It's the second time already on this map alone.
Unfortunate, but two support ultimates are ready at the go here for this defensive lineup, but Onigod still managing to find LP, should force the resurrect coming out of Snappy, and now with the kill coming from Lally as well. It's going to be looking really good all of a sudden for the defensive lineup, even though those opening kills were on the up and up. And now that self-destruct is going to be used, Elfie is going to manage to find Lozish. Erky drops really low. Will be able to disengage, but nicely done by ENCE Esports, as they have a lot of time still on that time bank.
And Erky gonna fall there as well. We saw a couple kills go the way of Angry Titans, but I don't think they're going to be able to hold. Zafox going to pop his Transcendence just to see what they can do with it, though. And they're holding onto the payload still. No kills. It's going to actually go back and forth as Snap falls. And the Mercy, that's a big pickup. Olba's going to come back from respawn as a soldier again here, and he's now looking for the kill onto Ludi. He finds it. That's going to be another one onto Elevote more than likely here, as we do see people from, or players rather, from Angry Titans still jumping onto this point. Erky going to come away with a blade, but still a lot of time taken off the clock. But something to consider, 3 minutes still remaining in that time bank. And Erky does have that blade, as we mentioned. Ludi going to swap, though, and they're going to change him off of the Mercy and over to the Lucio.
Maybe somewhat of more of a comfort pick, and now even AFox going in for that reset. We'll be curious to see if he's going to go for that particular Mercy instead, or just stick to the Zenyatta. It is going to be indeed Mercy, so we will see at the very least a few different opportunities or possibilities open up for the side of Angry Titans. But again, ENCE Esports still trying to contest that high ground. We'll see Lally have that pulse bomb ready, and he will be looking for those targets. Doesn't find anything just yet, but Onigod will.
Oh, they're diving right in. Oh, somehow whips the blade onto the Mercy. They need to find that kill. Luckily there, Lolzish was able to find it, and now they're cleaning up here. They need to get this mech out of play. Need to get the D.Va out of there, take the kill off of that one, and they will do just that. It's still contested here. They lost a minute over the course of this fight and preparing for it as well. One more opportunity here now, as Snap does have that Valkyrie available and will probably see Elfie ready to go with the Transcendence after he gets rezzed up here.
But they're going to play very aggressively far forward. Lude was the only one onto the point, and now with Ruape coming back in with the Primal Rage, going to look to push them around. Even Olba being taken down, though, with that tech visor already could be huge for this lineup of Angry Titans, but they still answer with the kills, finding one onto AFox as well as Lude. No supports available, and now popping that Transcendence coming out of Elfie, maybe a little too early because they still have Erky at the ready with the Dragon Blade.
And that reminds you of Horizon Lunar Colony just before, where AFox made that same play just to kind of contest the point and secure it. Well, I guess on Horizon Lunar Colony it was to delay more than that, but still, one of those situations where you pop a Transcendence when it wasn't necessary. You already have the advantage in terms of, you know, distance from spawn and everything, so why pop it, especially knowing that Erky likely has a blade, and indeed he does. We can tell from our perspective, of course, So now the big worry is, what are you going to do for your supports? How are you going to get him off? You have to rely on attack visor here, where Ludi is probably going to be able to protect to some degree from that because he's going to have sound barrier soon.
Or Lali now, even with a potential pulse bomb, but no, only God picks one up on Elfie, and now with the Dragon Blade coming out, no other supports available, of course, for this lineup of ENCE Esports. Gonna be cleanup all around. Even Oba now going down without any success with attack visor. Cali left onto the point, will be bullied out, and as a result, Angry Titans, patient play, but they do get it in the end.
They're going to take that first win here on Hollywood, all important too. They need to get this to take ENCE Esports out of the running to get into the playoffs. And a great show there, but very close indeed between these two teams so far, which is, in my opinion, kind of unexpected.
It does seem like overall ENCE Esports, at the very least, are starting to pick it up, are starting to become overall slightly better in terms of their coordination with Elfie on the lineup. So again, it will be interesting to see what they can do in the future. But in the meantime, we'll head over to a short break. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back everybody to Analysis Desk. Brunch, this was actually way closer than it should have been after the attacking side of the Angry Titans. It came down to a teeth, so to say.
Most definitely. It was way closer than we expected, as you said. And it really comes down to the fact that ENCE Esports, at the very least, seem to be finding themselves a little more overall, seem to come more into one as a unit, if you will, just looking to get some strengths on the board, and maybe in the future, there will definitely be a team to be looking out for.
Yeah, they still have one map if they wish to equalize the series and take it to Oasis. Coming up next is Horizon Lunar Colony. What do you expect to see here?
Considering how well overall Angry Titans been doing, especially when it comes to this map, okay, of course they lost versus those guys, but of course those guys are the top of the board when it comes to this group, so it's not too unexpected. I would see them at the very least picking up another win here.
So, Angry Titans 2-0?
Unfortunately for ENCE Esports, yes.
Alright, it seems we are ready for the next map. Casters, take it away.
Back on Horizon Lunar Colony already, just saw it moments ago, but here we are again. It's going to be AFox with another opportunity to perhaps make up for what was a debilitating usage of an ultimate ability there on Transcendence right at that first point. But we've seen them now. This is the third time here on this map in particular, and ENCE had a great showing both times. And I think that's really going to be something that they want to get behind now, is he's going to be on the Junkrat, where he's really kind of showed off his proficiency on this particular character. And I know, memes aside, all that kind of stuff about Junkrat right now and everything, but he has looked quite good, and I think he's kind of stepped away as really kind of being at the forefront of the Junkrats that we've seen so far, which does mean a lot, especially considering the fact that this tournament is going to be on the patch where the Junkrat is very solid, where, you know, maybe in the future it might be lessened. We'll have to see that, you know, only time will tell. But for right now and for the remainder of this tournament, ENCE on the Junkrat is going to be an issue for teams.
And not only that, when you saw Lulzish and Eliva combo that Orisa Roadhog composition really, really well, it's going to be very scary here for the lineup of ENCE Esports. But interestingly enough, we haven't seen much Pharah on Lunar before, and now that Olbo's going to be picking that up, he's most likely going to look to displace the opposition, but we will have Onigod try and contest him there.
Now, there is an opportunity to get in there and really kind of just throw them around with that concussive blast. He is going to take them off high ground, but Elivo's going to find that kill. We've seen him before with a lot of really consistent chain hooks, but now it's going to be that right click that takes Olba out of the sky. They're still cleaning up. They're in the process right now. Ruabe's trying to stick it out, trying to take down Onigod, who's in a little bit of a 1v1 with him. But Ruabe, unsure of how to deal with no gravity, flies off the side of the map, and Onigod secures the kill. Luckily for him, Lally will go ahead and return fire, but I don't know about this. The stick comes out, Lulzer takes some damage, but they still find the kill on the Tracer, and they're going to have to wait for him to come back now.
It's still going to be pretty annoying, though, for Angry Titans to regroup, as those staggered kills are always going to be a nuisance here, especially when you have such a long way to walk back from spawn. You will have Elivod at the ready with that whole hog if need be. Losers, though, it's going to drop extremely low, contested by the opposition for now. Olba looking to potentially get a barrage ready to go, and so far, Ruabe is going to be forced out of the point, but one tick already achieved here, as Lolly is going to be able to take down Lozish.
He's just popping off on the side here. Onigod trying to shut him down, but it's really tough when you're on that Widowmaker and you're just getting tossed around as well. He does get the res off, so they are going to try to make their way back onto the point, as they already gave away 2 ticks, almost the entire point along with it. Pulse Bomb comes out from Loudly. He finds yet another kill on the board for himself, as Olba now with the barrage lets it loose, finds 2 kills, make it 3. That one's on to Elevote. They should secure it right here.
Even with Lude trying to pull out the pistol and beat a hero here, for Angry Titans is not going to be successful, only delays the inevitable, and as a result, surprisingly enough, ENCE Esports really looking much better here, even on this first point.
It seems like as time has gone on, they've just, both them and Eagle Gaming have both started to look a lot better. It's just a shame that they had such poor starts to begin with, but now we see both ults coming out from the supports of ENCE Esports, and ENCE with the Riptire wasn't able to find anything initially, and then now getting back into the fight, getting very aggressive as he's made his way over to that high ground just to contest, really kind of laying into the Diva now, and he's all over this kill feed, as you can see here. Will find, or help find, that killing blow onto Lally there, and now with 5 minutes here, it's up to ENCE to now get up into that high ground and start doing his job.
See if he can keep it rolling, as so far we'll have Lude ready to go with that Valkyrie soon enough, whereas on the other side, no support ultimates on the horizon at the very least for now, as Olba will look to contest him, push him out of that potential advantage over from that high ground, but Elivod will have something to say, and even that, ENCE picks up a kill onto Lolly, will force that resurrect. No more of that particular resource available here for the offensive team, and as a result, we'll see what they can do to still come back and get a few ticks on the checkpoint, or potentially take it off.
Now they need to kind of take Junkrat off of this position. He's got trap there for them. If they do kind of want to get up there, it's going to be Callie this time jumping out. And they actually just, instead of going for the Junkrat, they go for the Mercy instead, who is helping them out. So that opens up the possibility of taking Erky out of the picture, and they take that opportunity indeed. Lally somehow getting away from that self-destruct. I believe it was with the recall there, as they're going to go ahead, get this first tick. They have a great time so far. Ludi coming over with the Valk, going to get that res, staying safe right now, line of sighting with the high ground as Erky comes back in a big way. Riptire coming out to start saving the day.
And unfortunately here for ENCE Esports, the member they lost was in fact Snape, which is definitely the worst one to lose at that. And as a result, they'll be forced out, even though it was looking really good for them for a second. Of course, if you can't deal with the Junkrat, if you can at the very least take out the support in that Mercy, it was looking much better for them overall. But over on both sides, the one thing ENCE Esports got going for them coming into the next team fight is the fact that it's only AFOX with the Transcendence. If you can force that out early, you can definitely just fight it out and win in the end with Snape, but not if you just give up picks like that.
They do have a lot of ultimates coming forward, though, so this is a push that matters. This one means a lot. If for some reason ENCE Esports let loose all these if they just allocate all these resources here in this next fight and they still somehow don't come away with the point, and especially don't come away with a tick, that's gonna be really rough for them going forward. Especially now, Callie getting really, really low as he tried to get everybody off of the high ground. Elivo doing the same here, and they're really running through them at the moment. ENCE Esports just trying to stay alive at the moment so they can mount their next attack.
Especially since Oniga did manage to desuit Callie, even Erky now securing that particular kill. We'll see them push back and not really overcommitting for ENCE Esports. They're still gonna wait it out, but time's ticking, and with 2 minutes and 27 seconds, they're already gonna be halted for an extra 15 to 20 till that respawn does go through.
Now we see Junkrat, Erky back in position. This has been something that a lot of teams, rather two teams, have struggled with so far, as Erky wasn't really able to pull it off in the last one. And now it's just been delay. That's been the name of the game here for Angry Titans on this second point. They lost the first one rather quickly, but now the Riptire ready for Erky. He's going to probably want to pull this one out pretty soon here, look for the supports. And now he's got this D.Va trapped here, going to be able to de-mech, de-suit the D.Va. I don't even know if they even need the Riptire right now.
We'll see, though. Elfie just popped Transcendence to make sure his team stays alive, and now with the counter supports coming out for the lineup of Angry Titans, they're gonna look to contest. So far, nothing really achieved too major, but AFOX is gonna go down. Oniga takes the counter out, and with the Resurrects coming through, Oba will be looking for those targets with the Tac Visor. Spots out Lulzish, but so far only able to find one target. The Resurrect's still gonna come through. Oniga finds Elfie out again, and as they continue to fight, Oba's gonna take two with one Helix. And maybe, just maybe, they could still get it. Belude jumping back onto the point. Elivo is going to be the sole survivor for now, as maybe, just maybe, ENCE Esports done it.
Looks like they might be able to close it out, but somehow Lulzish makes his way, but he gets knocked off the point, I believe, by Callie there. So they're going to secure it. 1 minute and 1 second remaining. That's really important, too, considering overtime rules. They got it over that 1 minute mark. So now we'll have to see what we get out of Angry Titans on their attack. I mean, if they wind up getting it in overtime or under that minute mark, I don't know. I mean, that was very, very fortunate that they got it with just, that extra second, because now they're potentially going to be able to shut them down in overtime and have that one opportunity to attack themselves. But we'll have to see. I do see potentially a Reinhardt from Lulzish. We'll have to see if that's going to be the case, as Olba now is on the Junkrat as well. A lot of flexibility from this guy so far. I mean, we've seen him on Widow, Soldier, Pharah, Junkrat now. Really looking good from him, as Lally is, of course, their Tracer ace. Plays pretty much just Tracer. And even when we were kind of looking at the rosters, we were talking to some of the management and the captains and everything, and they were like, yeah, Lally is actually our Tracer. He plays Tracer. So that's what he's going to play for these guys, and it's been consistent for them.
And he did have a few standout performances, just managing to pick out a couple of really good post-bomb kills, as well as just solo kills on those supports. But now that I have another look at this Angry Titans composition, they could very well run that quad tank, have a Fox, of course, on that Moira once again. It does seem to be their particular choice, and we'll see if Olba can deal with this comp the same way the likes of ENCE did in the past.
So now running that tank strat. Again, imagine that it's probably going to be for first point, and then might want to swap, especially as Olba is on that Junkrat, and they know exactly how to set that Junkrat up, as ENCE just did it to them for a span of about 5 minutes. But they're going to come forward, and if they get control of that point without taking too much damage or too much pressure here, they might be able to get control early, but that's not going to be the case. Olba really just dishing it out right now.
Picking up 2 supports there right there, and as a result instantly shutting down. And also very nice trap placement to make sure they did stop ENCE dead in his tracks. And now with those final few kills, already good to go with the Riptide there for Olba. And as you said, you gotta really give props to this guy for having such big proficiency in multiple heroes, really. Rather, on multiple heroes.
And because of how much he was able to do in that one fight in just a span of about 5 seconds, he already has his Riptide here, Brunge, and he's definitely going to want to pull this out. So now we see the tank lineup of Angry Titans pulling over to the opposite side this time. They don't want to fall for the same bag of tricks. They're still getting low here, and they still will have someone die off. That's going to be Lulzish. Their push is completely nullified again.
Things are looking better and better for ENCE Esports, as you said so far, seemingly not really being too phased out by their losses and just coming in time and time again. The next map just looking better and better, but for Angry Titans, they do have that Coalescence at the ready, and looking into the next team fight, the only thing they can hope for, seemingly at least, is maybe a few picks to force out some ultimates from the likes of ENCE Esports, but it's looking really good for the Finns here.
Really looking to see what this Coalescence can do, but the Riptire from Olba is something to be a little bit petrified of, or at least I would be if I was a tank here for Angry Titans, which is of course 80% or something like that of the roster right now. But they're going to stack up on these stairs as the tire comes out. They find Ludi.
And so far looking good, but the self-destruct coming out of the opposition will go through, doesn't find any targets, and as a result, Olba able to pick up another kill. He will drop low. Ooh, that Graviton not really able to catch Snap It there, and as a result, it's gonna be able to stay alive. Does have the Valk available if need be, but is still brawling it out, still looking to hold strong, and with Olba taking down a Fox, they should be able to stop this one for now.
Even though 2/3 of the team is sitting there tanky as can be, you know, you still got to keep those supports alive. They're coming back from respawn, and now with a minute left, Lally coming back over. I mean, they've really been dishing out a ton of pressure. I would love to see the damage per minute, or damage per 10 minutes rather, that Olba has right now, because he has been just generating these Riptires like in an instant, and then still being able to dish out tons of damage with them, really putting some pressure onto the backline, which is huge because, you know, you can dish out damage to tanks all day, but if those supports are staying alive, you know, they're not going to be going down. So now we see things swapping back over to a dive comp. Ludi's still on the Lucio as he was before, and he's going to be, of course, holding onto that sound barrier that they want to engage with. They're going to run right onto the point here.
See if they can find more successes. Olba's just gonna go ahead, pop that Riptire, look for the target. Sombra is gonna come through, and as a result, it's gonna keep a few of the members safe, but Elivote is gonna get desuited. Kali getting that one in the end, and Odigot going down. It's gonna be looking mighty fine here for this lineup of ENCE Esports, but ENCE managing to find Snappy. Might be the big turnaround here as Lude finds Olba as well.
That's a big pickup. Elivote coming through as well. And now we're seeing the D.Va back down here. Kali trying to hold on to this. And you don't want to see anything go here in terms of ults or anything like that. You don't want to see any resources allocated here. Now as it ticks down, this is a similar situation to what we saw before. But now Flop, of course, as Angry Titans have all the momentum to surge forward with. ENCE has his blade at about 85% right now off of that one fight that they played. Olba swapped over to that Widowmaker, though. We'll have to see where he's going to play. It's going to be on that back right platform, kind of some high ground where really, you know, they can jump over onto him for sure. So I imagine he's going to want to either play it safe or make a swap here. And that is going to be the case. He's going to go over to Soldier 76.
but Onigot though still managing to pick up a double kill with that pulse bomb. Could be good enough. However, now Olba with the 76 pick is going to return fire onto Lulzish and Erky. Thinking that was snappy, they're still going to try and clean up house here onto the point as the respawns are going to come through and keep it better and better for this lineup of ENCE Esports. But kills still finding themselves on the board. Ruape gets looted in the end, but with the respawns on both sides, it's still gonna be seemingly enough Angry Titans having to regroup, and Afox popping even Valk there.
That was an interesting decision to try to hold on to that with the self-destruct. They're going to pull the blade out for this extended fight here. They do find Olba. Now it's going to be Erky turning around and somehow sniffing out Lolly with the blade as well. He goes down as Olba gets picked back up, but the res now at the ready again for Snappy as he's going to have Valkyrie. And it's Olba unleashing the tack visor that might just leave this done and dusted here. He's on the point, going to kill off Lulzish alongside Ruape there. 2.5 minutes now. Remember, they did cap the point, and they did so just over a minute. So it's going to get very interesting here.
Especially considering they have a lot of ultimates to work with on top of that. So if you're Angry Titans right now, you got to feel flustered as seemingly enough not able to get anything done on that point is going to be a big potential problem. And now we will see Lude pick up that Mercy support role, whereas Afox is going to go over to that Zenyatta, and Olba picks out Erky, and already things are not looking good for Angry Titans.
They really want to get it on this next push, so they have plenty of time to get something going on that first point. They really struggled getting it initially there. Took them a while, and they just had to adapt, force themselves to go over to a dive where they looked a lot better. Now self-destruct coming out. Elevote has one of his own. Afox already got the kill onto Lally, kind of denying him a little bit. But they need to keep this pressure going. They need to keep it up. Right now, Cali is very low. They're looking for an opportunity to find this Mercy, get in the face of Olba in the back as well. Self-destruct is going to go out. I don't know if it's going to find anything. It's not going to at all. Erky, who is on the soldier playing this side over here. They almost take out Elfie, who was ready to Transcendence. He does manage to pull it off, and now Erky falls. Afox is pretty close to a Transcendence of his own, but now we're getting to that point here where it's going to be really kind of one more fight, especially as Olba takes that late kill onto Afox. And both of those supports are going to have these, so it's going to be a pretty long fight here, but they have the advantage in terms of ult economy.
It's looking really rough here, potentially for Angry Titans, as they're gonna see their opponents play very far forward, try to get any pick going, and with Onigot going down, that is exactly what you're looking for, as Onigot, a little too aggressive there, is gonna be caught out, but Afox answers with a kill of his own, forcing out the Resurrect out of Snappy. Will not have it for a while, especially considering the fact that he's quite a while away from the Valkyrie as well. So on the other side, at the very least, now that they're regrouped, we'll have those ultimates, and they need to do it now.
And we will see Afox going along the side here on the high ground. They're trying to push Ruape back as he's coming back into the fray, and he's going to go forward looking for Afox. But remember, he has his Transcendence. He's going to get killed off before it, though. Luckily, Ludi had the res, and now we're going to be seeing them taking it maybe in overtime here. We'll have to see as they're looking to control this. Transcendence still at the ready. Lulzish now getting saved by that trance. They go forward. Self-destruct coming out now. Can Cali find anything? Not going to be the case. Ruape going forward, trying to find this soldier kill. They do indeed get it. And we see Snap with the Valkyrie as well. Both charges of the res are available as the self-destruct comes out again. Snappy somehow stays alive, forces the res out onto Cali, and they're still hanging on here, Brunch.
But Olba's gonna get taken down, and as a result, Snappy forced to do that, go in and resurrect him as well. And now with Afox going down, we might just see ENCE Esports hold on to the second point. Now Luda trying desperately to stay alive, runs away, does have the dash, but the question is for how long? He goes down. Lulzish tries to stay alive with a Primal Rage, but the clock is ticking into overtime now, and with that, Erky's gonna go down. It seems like ENCE Esports might have just done it, but not before Elivo's still heroically trying to take his opposition down, takes down Ruape, and now that Afox runs back to the objective with that Lucio, they're gonna get pushed away by that self-destruct. And now, with that final kill, it is going to be ENCE Esports equalizing it 1-1.
And this was the map that I thought was going to look incredibly good for Angry Titans. They've looked pretty solid on it so far. Their only loss on it was to those guys, which is the best team in Group A right now. And somehow ENCE Esports stays and just holds true throughout. That was such a phenomenal point. Behold, they held well on point A as well, where ENCE just wasn't able to have the performance that we've seen from him so far.
And we'll see who will win it out in the end for our last series of Group A. Don't go anywhere.
It does seem that the Finnish boys and esports are finally waking up. They played really great in this match.
A little late into the tournament, but most definitely, especially Olba popping off on all the different characters, really being the linchpin of this team, and we can definitely see why ENCE Esports seemingly built around this guy.
He impressed me a lot on the second point, where he got a lot of opening picks, which basically delayed Angry Titans from taking the fight. Now we will head over to Oasis. It's 1-1. Only one map left for Group A. Predictions?
Well, considering Olba has taken out that Pharah before and what he previously displayed on it, I think it's going to be potentially closer than we expect, but I would like to see Angry Titans regroup and just show why they're one of the favorites of the group.
I'm calling it now, and Esports is going to win this match. I'm hearing from the production that the match is ready. Casters, take it away.
Coming over to Oasis here. Definitely expecting to see some Pharah play. We already see Erky on it at the moment, but I haven't seen Olba go over to it just yet. He's going to be on the soldier right now. Brunch, do you think we're going to be seeing a Pharah versus Pharah, or do you think Olba's going to stick to this?
Well, it'll be an interesting choice, mostly because Oni got already hovering that McCree potentially expecting that Pharah to come out. As I would say to be the case for myself as well, I would like to see Olba on that Pharah, since he has shown that he can definitely be a menace on that particular pick. But it seems like he's going to opt in for the soldier, potentially look to be really playing around his team, grouped up, and deal with the likes of Erky on his Pharah.
Now they're seeing Basically, Olba just trying to push out as much pressure to Erky right now as possible, but Erky's really doing a lot of work right now in the skies, being a very strong aerial threat right now, especially to this D.Va, where they've kind of isolated Cali, and even though they're putting 2 people onto this D.Va, they still clean up on the forefront, and they will bring Cali out of the fight as well pretty late. They already secured the point here, 5% already on the board, and a lot of control for Angry Titans. They made that one look easy.
Especially considering even now you have Erky already at the ready with 80% towards that rocket barrage. He's gonna look to dish out a bunch of damage into the opponents, as he will manage to even find Lolly there somehow, some way, and as a result, it's gonna make things even more difficult for ENCE Esports. And here's the big thing. ENCE Esports, while they did have a much better showing going into Horizon Lunar Colony, making it their first win in terms of the Overwatch Pit Season 2. Now looking at this one, considering the fact that it is a control map, here's where individual skill on all fronts really shines.
Look how slow they're playing this attack. They're taking a long time to actually get in there. It's already up to about 50% here. Barrage at the ready now for Erky. They're all just kind of positioned together, tight up in this here, grouping up a lot. Olba now going to be taken down by the barrage. We do see Elfie taking down Erky, but now it's going to be a question of just staying power at the moment. Angry Titans holding on right now, 63%. They secure that fight again, making it look so easy with the momentum that they have. How could they not? And now coming back into it, this is the big opportunity here for ENCE Esports. They're going to come forward, they're going to have Valk, they're going to have that Pulse Bomb to start the fight off. They're going to have some resets for their tanks through their respective ultimates, as well as Olba. They really need to make some space for this guy. The Tackvisor is getting pretty close. He's dishing out good damage at the moment. He needs to shut down that Pharah, but he can't do that without the space.
Especially since Lulz already start things off, picking out first support, second support going down as well, and now with Olba following suit, it is already 93%. It seems like Angry Titans will just make a statement here and say, okay, we're gonna take a very easy, very fast 1-0 lead coming into Oasis.
Yeah, 100-0. Ooh, almost snapped up to snap there on the Pulse Bomb. Only God trying to get that nice little flick for a little bit of flash, but now going over to the next map. Could certainly be another Pharah-based one there as well, but we'll have to see as we wait for the draw to come out. And it will not be. This is going to leave things a little more open, I would say. And now we're likely to see some more tanks. I mean, could certainly see a tank lined up. It seems like we're going to see something close to it from Angry Titans, but they're going to leave Erk here on the McCree, and I kind of like that, actually, because that means that they're going to be really strong against the dive. He can flashbang them out. They're going to have a lot of control, a lot of extra damage as well from this McCree.
But generally speaking, we've mostly seen the likes of Onigod in the McCree, but I gotta imagine just because of Onigod being so good on this R as well, he's just going to be picking out that role instead, and as a result, we'll be curious to look at how they position themselves so far. Very aggressive, far forward, of course leaving that high ground available for the likes of ENCE Esports, who will look to dish out as much damage as possible. Olba trying to find those line of sights isn't too successful so far, but Ludi still gonna be able to keep the rest of his team safe and just scout around over on the backhand side.
Now Ruape looking to jump in. He should get flashbanged out, and he will indeed. They somehow don't find the kill. In fact, Lolzish is the one that goes down at front there of Angry Titans, and the Angry Titans now are looking to try to sustain, trying to play this a little bit slower. They lost control of the point. That's the first points on the board here for ENCE Esports, but they're looking to stay a little bit longer. Just coming back from the spawn now as they're coming back into the fight. Erky trying to find a little bit of pressure now onto Lally, who again on this Tracer has had quite a performance so far in this series at least, and now Pulse Bomb going out. They're gonna block that off, but Onigod gonna offer himself up instead.
And even now, once again, with Lolzish going down, things are not looking good for the side of Angry Titans, as ENCE Esports will be building up a lot of ultimates as well. Only Coalescence together with that Deadeye available over on the side of Angry Titans, and as a result, Erky will be making the swap over to the Genji, trying to coordinate a potential dive with Onigod, who did also make the change over to Tracer, and as a result, we'll be looking to have a little bit more success, as so far it's been all about ENCE Esports.
I didn't really find their composition, but they're going to swap it up anyways. They're going to bring out that Coalescence right now. We see the res coming out both sides, or rather both from Snap as they bring up both tanks. Ruape gonna finally kill off ENCE there as he came back up from spawn. But what a response from Elivote. Nice little self-destruct to get 2 kills, claim the lives of Elfie and Olba, as now he goes up to the sky looking for the Mercy, trying to take him down. Snappy is going to be defeated by Lolzish. They're still holding on to the point here, though. 73% now and still taking up. They're losing control slowly, but ENCE Esports looking to try to get back to the point to try to see if they can stall us off. Not going to happen, though, but they still secure themselves a decent lead to work with.
And primarily, if you are ENCE Esports, you were looking to potentially, at the very least, delay it slightly more, because if it gets closer to that 100% mark, you will be able to just win one more team fight to win it all here for this particular map. But looking at Ultimate so far, some of that advantage that they did have, they now given over to the side of Angry Titans, as they'll be having a hold of the point, looking for a potential target. ENCE will be getting close to that blade, but now being contested with that Discord. It's gonna look to disengage, and with the self-destruct, it's gonna be able to catch Lolzish, unable to use that bubble effectively.
Yeah, he tried to get the bubble off, but I think he either misclicked the shift or he got bounced up by Ruape, because he flew right out of it and it blew up and he was gone with it. Now we're seeing it flop back over to ENCE, and they're holding on. Now we see ENCE dying as well. 80% now and ticking up. 20 seconds remaining here. We got one final push for Angry Titans. If they don't get this, they're going to concede this round of the map. But they will have that opportunity here with the blade. Have the pulse bomb ready. They have tons of ultimate stacking up right now on both sides, though. So we'll have to see how this plays out.
Oh, but Lolly taking down AFOX is going to be a huge one. However, the answer with Snappy going down, and ENCE pick up a double kill on that Genji. Is going to look to secure this team fight, but Lude now finding Lolly as well. It's going to make things better and better. And more importantly here for Angry Titans, they found the prime target. Snappy with that Valkyrie could have been enough to turn things around, but getting that particular pick means that they will get the swap back on over as overtime did kick in.
So now we're seeing AFOX with that resurrect ability, as well as the Valkyrie for the second charge. They're going to need that going into this next one, because I imagine we're going to be seeing ENCE look very, very lethal here as they're going in. They're going to dive right on through. Ruape going forward as well, has AFOX pretty low, but that's going to be the Val coming out very early on.
And the counter self-destruct is going to be launched up in the air. It doesn't get anything. And as a result, Kali is going to be going down. Caught by ENCE with that Swift Strike. And now Olba, if he can get into a good position, does have the attack visor at the ready. Doesn't find any particular target just yet. And doesn't even opt into it, because they know if they take one more team fight, that's all they need. Sound barrier was popped by Lude. But Lolly gets a pick onto AFOX with that pulse bomb. And now with the attack visor coming in, you're going to look to get the point. And as a result, now having overtime, we will have to look out for ENCE, who pops the blade, gets the 2 kills, and maybe it's going to be enough. Angry Titans clean up house, and with those final few kills, even Elivote there at the end. This is gonna be the point going over to Angry Titans, and even though it was a valiant effort coming out of ENCE Esports, Angry Titans take it away.
Lally had a couple of moments there where he looked like he was going to be able to steal this and take us into that round number 3 here. Maybe even take us in even further, but great performance there by ENCE alongside Elivote to just finish the job. And here you see the blade pulled out to take down the Zenyatta to start things off, and all over the place alongside this D.Va that you're going to be seeing on that kill feed as well.
And to wrap it all up, we will be moving back to the analyst desk.
You know what, Brunch? I don't think I'll be making any more predictions. I said 2-0 for ENCE Esports, and that's what actually Angry Titans did.
Hey, ENCE Esports really brought it home with this one, making it very close and competitive, whereas previously they just seemed to give out free wins, basically.
Yeah, I guess they just need a bit more time and everything will be good.